Hi, welcome back to another episode of After Rounds, a show where we punch first, ask questions later. Today on the show, we have Gloria Telles. I don't know if I want to put it here or here. I've known Gloria for a lot of years, 2014, 2015, around there. It was I met her during my second amateur fight, broke my collarbone. Long story short, she reached out to me through Instagram, and then that's how we became connected, and that's how we became friends. And then throughout this years, we've been in each other's corners, cheering for each other. And she has opened up her own gym. It's been a year since she opened her own gym with her beautiful fiance. And I just wanted to talk to her about how's life been with her, what she's doing with her gym, martial arts, and everything in between. So I hope you guys like the episode, and I'll see you guys later. Okay, let's roll the clip. All right, so we are here with Gloria Telles. Yes, she is the owner of
Hollín Atlético.
Hollín Atlético. Atlético.
Atlético.
Hollín
Yes.
Atlético. Necesito practicar mi español porque se me está yendo.
If you don't use it, you lose it, sister.
That is very
y el
true.
español es importante porque ¿cómo vas a ordenar tacos? Quesadillas. Otra más, por favor.
Otra más. Muy importante. Ahora
Eso
parece
es
que soy
importante.
como una white girl.
Ah, sí. Ay, no.
Me da
es que ya es,
pena,
ella es rubia de ojos verdes. Ah, no. Nothing against our rubias de ojos verdes, ¿ok?
Tengo un nopal en la frente.
Shut up.
Siempre voy a ser mexicana. Pero como no... mira, es que...
Pues, es que cuando no se practica el español,
Se va.
se dificulta encontrar las palabras. La única cosa mala es que no tengo a mi mamá a mi lado decirle, ma, ¿cómo se dice esto? ¿Cómo se dice el otro?
Sí.
Because I'm always asking, how do you say this? How do you say that?
Yeah.
And then when I do have like a question on a word, I go, and I'll say it, and then she'll go,
No.
yeah, that sounds fine. Or, no, it says like this. So,
Oh,
anyways,
no.
but you do practice, yeah.
Yeah, necesito practicar más. I need to practice more my Spanish. That is my goal.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if I see, I'm going to just throw in some words in Spanish, and they're just like,
Throw them in there
Yeah.
like a quick hook. Just, ¿de dónde salió eso?
madres.
Ah, putazo. Ah, ¿qué es eso? ¿De dónde salió? Me desperté. I'm good.
Okay, so I wanted to talk to you about martial arts, your community, and just everything that you're doing to, one, help out your community, and to bring more like females closer together. Because I feel like for me, that's one of the most important things that I want to bring to this. That's one of the reasons why I want to do like a little, I don't know, podcast show, whatever this.
After rounds,
Yeah,
let's chit
after
chat.
rounds,
We all
chit-chat.
have something to say after rounds.
Yeah, we do. That's when like community comes together,
Yes.
and that's when you meet your friends, and that's when you become closer to people because you're just in this high, right?
Yeah.
And then like you meet people that have the same interests as you, and then you make the strongest connections. That's the way I
Yes,
feel.
yes.
I made like very, very like close friends through martial arts and through fighting and through like doing jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and now wrestling and everything, and I just love it so much, right? That's how I met you.
That's how we met, yeah.
That's how we met. We met back in
2014.
2014.
So I was fighting, this was my second amateur fight in kickboxing.
Yeah.
So it was under 408 fights, the guidance of Jane Estioco and Cariana. And then, of course, in the background, you see a little bit of Scott Coker. Well, as I know him as Quangenum Scott Coker because he's black belt under the same lineage as I am with Taekwondo.
Wow.
So his instructor is Master Ernie Reyes.
Okay.
And I, of course, went through the Ernie Reyes system. So I know him you guys know Scott Coker as promoter, but I know him as basically senior black belt, right?
Wow. Okay.
So we met back in 2014, and you were in the undercard for this for the fight, and of course
408 fights.
It was 408 fights. So for this particular fight, what we were doing was, I remember, it was all kind of basically based on ticket sales, right? So I had like some of the most ticket sales.
She always does, by the way. She has a really good following. People love her.
And honestly, it comes from teaching martial arts. Let's go back to how we met, okay? So I remember I was just waiting in the back, and of course, everybody requires you to be there at 12 o'clock and you don't fight until 11:30 midnight. Okay, but let's not talk about that. As long as we're ready to go.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing you in the changing rooms, and it's just cool because there was a lot of guys fighting.
Yeah.
But anytime there was girls fighting, it was neat because, okay, yeah, we're opponents, or there's girls that are opponents, but we're all there to I don't know if it's so much to prove something in the sport, but to participate in it equally, right? So yeah, you had come out, and I was like super pumped too, because I was like, it's chingona. Like, I can see her. She's this little Mexican thing, and she fights really hard. And then next thing you know, I remember the rules, and I was getting so mad because you got swept, you got dropped, and I remember your injury happened right away, and they stopped everything, and then. That's when you had your clavicle broken, right? And then I truly really thought about this. I was like, I'm praying that this girl just comes back, because the injury itself, obviously it's very devastating, but I didn't want you to have a bad taste of martial arts and fighting, and I wanted you to come back, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it's very doubtful after an injury, because I mean, you don't know. We were amateurs. We weren't getting paid for this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So so then after that, I started seeing you a little bit more here and there about you fighting, and then girl, next thing you know, you're racking up these belts. Okay, not out of nowhere. I was like, hell yes. And I remember you went from your original gym, and then you realized there has to be a little bit of growth, right? Yeah. And again, we always go back to our roots, and we always go back to our first instructors, and we're very grateful for them, because that's kind of how we all start. And they get our, they help us get our foot in the door. But then again, there's always this growth, right? And of course, I remember just watching you, and then I was like, dude, I'm just living vicariously through this girl, because she's doing all these amazing things in martial arts. How old are you? How much younger?
34 now.
34? Okay.
Yeah,
I was gonna say she's younger than me, but it's like we're just like a year apart. Okay, ya me siento viejita, pero okay, I'm not, okay?
No.
But honestly, you did a lot of the stuff that I wish I had done back then. But at the same time, we all know like our little purpose in life, right?
Yeah.
So after a few fights that I did, I always taught martial arts, and I always taught kids and adults, and I thoroughly enjoyed teaching. And I think that was just one of those things I realized that's my thing to do, right? Is to share. And then more so for little girls to learn, right? Yeah. Like I don't know why you started martial arts, because I know you started when you were little. But one of the reasons I started was because there was bullies at school, and I wanted to learn how to protect myself, right? And I was just lucky that I found this place and the teacher that was like, you fight as strong as the boys, right? He never cut us slack just because we were girls. So then my thing was always like, the little girls have to be able to fight. The ladies have to be able to defend themselves. And, like right now we just took this class, and I think like 5 or 6 girls in the class I trained with since we were little in Taekwondo to now. So those friendships are like 25 years old too, And we all like, we would all get in trouble for fighting, like Taekwondo point fighting, but we were like hella aggressive, and everybody was getting mad at us, but that's a whole different story. But for Hollin, so for Hollin Atlético, I didn't want to necessarily make it just like a safe haven for women, because I wanted everybody to come in, right? But for some reason, forever divine reason in the universe, a lot of the women that step on our mat, a lot of the people that step on our mat are women, right? And we do have some guys that are in here, but it's really neat to see women gain confidence on the mat, where sometimes they feel like the sport itself is like, it's too much. Yeah. I don't want to get punched in the face. Yeah. Right? I just did my lashes. I just did my eyebrows. Like, yeah, girl, I get it.
Yeah. I wish I could have, like, if I could have the money to make my eyebrows or eyelashes every freaking
every week.
Yeah, every week.
Every week, because, the pampering needs to be done.
I actually did that once, and they were beautiful, but they lasted me a week.
No.
Every time somebody would punch me, there was like that goes $50. So you have to go to another 20.
I think you have $20 of my eyelashes on your glove. Can I just throw it back on?
When was your last fight, by the way?
Oh, girl, my last fight was in the parking lot of. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I was in the parking lot. It was the neighbors with the cars, okay, blocking my driveway. No, my last fight was September 2017. So I did when Bellator was in San Jose. I did Bellator kickboxing.
Ooh,
so I did Dynamite 1.
Okay.
And that one I did MMA, and of course, because being the ticket seller, I did the amateur MMA fight at midnight. Shout out to Asia Cortez, right? Right now she's fighting out of American Top Team, and she was my opponent for that one. And it's funny how, again, women in martial arts stick to it. Our paths crossed again, and I got a chance to work with her. She was fighting Ashley Thiner, actually.
No way.
Yeah, she fought Ashley Thiner.
She's the girl that you fought?
Yeah, she's the girl that I fought. But this was 2015, okay?
Oh, wow.
But Asia, it is, honestly.
Oh my God,
so I met Ashley there when I was, because I was working for PFL.
Yeah.
And still working for PFL. But I got a chance to work with Ashley Thiner, and then I saw the matchup with Asia Cortez, and I was like, oh my God, like, you know, this is going to be great, right? Mm-hmm. And it was honestly a pretty good fight. Ashley did a phenomenal job. Dude. And then, but then, like, see, Ashley did what I should have drilled more back when I thought Asia was better striking. When I knew Asia was just wrestling, I tried to drill as much wrestling as possible, because at the time, all I did was stand up.
Right.
And then, of course, you're crazy, and they go, do you want to do an MMA fight? And I said, yeah, sure, why not? How hard could it be?
How hard could it be?
Okay, Gloria. Okay.
You're like, all right, cool.
Jiu-jitsu, wrestling, what is that?
It's
and then I got thrown into the gauntlet a lot of different times, which was awesome. But anyways, we fast forward to the future, we saw each other again, right? And then I ended up, that was the MMA fight. And in 2017, for Bellator, I think it was another Dynamite, where we had the cage and we had the kickboxing ring. So that one was, let me see, that one was September 2017 in San Jose. Kevin Ross was actually main event for the kickboxing side. And then I fought Shana Goso.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my God. I love her. So, again,
another person.
Listen, ladies, if you're in this sport, it's still, like, yes, there's more of us in the sport and there's more women fighting, but there's still, like, not enough as the men, right? Yeah. We don't hate each other, at least I don't. But all of them.
All of them.
So, but definitely all the people, all the amazing ladies I've got a chance to, share the ring with have been amazing people, right? Shauna is still to this day, like, one of those awesome people. And after the fight, I was just like, man, this is just we get to live out our dreams. Yeah. We get to live out our dreams. Win, lose, or draw. We still. What would you tell somebody if they wanted to ever get in the ring?
Just try it.
Yeah, just do it. You try it one time.
Yeah.
If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
That's fine. Yeah.
Right? But you did it, right? How many people can say that they fought for a promotion and they were like on that big stage, right? It doesn't matter, right? If it's your local regional spot, right? Or if it's what used to be Bellator and is now PFL, and you have Fight Night at Tech CU, right, which is another amazing, huge platform, or any other spot, right? It's UFC, like, it's still, that's our goal, is to try to get to those stages, right? But how are we going to get there if we've never stepped into it, right? And you have to go in there knowing, accepting what's going to happen, but at least you did it. Like, that's the most important thing, is at least it was done. At least you went, that shit was cooler. I'm never doing that again. Yeah, that shit was still cool.
But at least you know.
But
That's one of the reasons why I started fighting, because it was always in the back of my head. I was like, should I fight? I don't know. And then one time I was like, I don't want to wake up 10, 20 years from now and be like, oh, what could have happened? Yeah. You know?
So, and then, it's funny. Some people ask me that. They're like, how come you didn't keep fighting? Well, like, God honest truth was, I've been running a gym all the time, and the difficulty in balancing teaching and training is so hard.
It is.
Some people can do it, but a lot of us can't,
Yeah,
right? Honestly,
no,
it's very difficult
it
because
is.
not only are you in charge of yourself, obviously to get yourself mentally ready for training and all this stuff, but you also have to be ready to train other people,
Yeah.
right? And you
And
have to
that-
be available for other people.
And that takes a lot of energy by itself. Like you just going out there and just getting people hyped.
Yeah.
It takes so much energy from
Yeah.
you, and it's pretty freaking draining.
Yeah.
It's draining. It's just like being social and hey, it's great. But then at the end of the night, you're just exhausted from being like having that high energy all the time.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. People don't realize that part of it. But I just I chose to keep teaching, but I can say to my kids and I can say to my family, an example to everybody else, like I did those things.
Yeah.
I was able to do those things, right? And when I had the opportunity to do it, I said yes. Let me do
you
it.
want to do
right?
an MMA fight? Yeah,
Girl,
sure.
yeah, no, honestly, that's how it was. Hey, Gloria, do you want to do an MMA fight?
No MMA experience.
No, absolutely no. Sorry,
No
guys,
jiu-jitsu.
my feet are like all dying and stuff because
I'll put a little.
I need to practice my 90-90s. Okay, sorry. But yeah, no jiu-jitsu experience, right? No wrestling experience.
Literally YOLO.
I did crash course like 6 months on everything.
Oh my god.
Everything, right? It crash course on everything, right? But the one cool thing is that like I love to learn.
Yeah.
I love to learn. So even if you punched me in the face or you took me down 100 million times, I didn't care.
Yeah.
I got up faster just to prove that I can get up faster.
Yeah.
Right? I tapped 100,000 times in a 5-minute round, but at least I went back in there and I kept doing it. And I was just, for me, it's just that was that mental toughness of like, I did it, I can do it, I can still do it, let's go again, let's go again, let's go again, right? Because I can say that I did it. I
Yeah.
can say that I hung in there, you know?
Exactly.
So, yeah.
I love that. I love that. A lot of people kind of stop their dreams.
Yeah.
Right? They don't chase their dreams because they're afraid of like, oh, what if I fail? But what if you don't?
But yeah.
And if you do fail, who
what if you
cares?
don't? What if you don't fail and you just, look at you,
keep going.
10 belts over here, hello?
Literally, that's like, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah.
much. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
let's
Next
do
thing
it.
you know, okay. Funny story is right now one of the moms, the little Paisa moms right here. I love her to death. She's awesome. She looked at Yannette, and then she looked at me, and then she looked at Yannette, and she goes, "Yo la conozco. ¿A poco de dónde la conoce? Where do you know her from?" She goes, "I saw her on TV, Combate Global."
Yeah.
So if you guys like, you know Hispanic TV, Latin TV,
Yes.
Combate Global, Univision, right? On Univision, right? Even honestly, like my parents are like, "Esa, conoces a ella? ¿Es tu amiga?" Yes, I know her. But it's that whole thing of like, you know, you don't realize the effect that you have on people because they've watched you just do your craft.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not so much like you gained a fan, but people are like, dude,
Yeah.
you're sick in a good way.
Yeah.
Like you're dope, dude. Like I wanna follow what you're doing. And then, I mean, how good does it feel when somebody goes, ¿Eres tú? Sí, soy yo. Soy yo. I'm like, sí, soy amiga. But
No, yeah.
it's pretty dope, right?
It is.
And people, without you realizing that on the other side of the screen, like these people are supporting you.
Yeah.
They're supporting you. They're chanting your name and they're
Yeah.
rooting for you, right? And you don't realize, like, dude, I have this impact in people's lives, right? Just from kicking and punching.
Just from kicking and punching. They love that I kick somebody
wrestling.
else.
Or elbow.
Or elbow somebody in the face.
Elbow.
Oh, that's my
Yeah,
favorite.
yeah.
But no, definitely, I love it. That's one of the reasons why I really like fighting for Combate is because they bring that Latin American and then they show it to my people. Like,
And you know what? Los Latinos, they're ruthless with they'll tell you straight up. Esa güey la madrearon.
oh yeah, they will tell you right away. Yeah.
Esa-
no.
And then you just don't want to be on that end, right?
Oh my
they
God,
don't-
yes.
but you want to be on the better end where they go,
Yeah.
eres chingona.
Sí, eres chingona. Viva. You know, like,
Viva Mexico, es la patria de Mexico, right? Whatever it is,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Pero eres chingona. I like you, that's the side that you want. You don't want the one,
Dude.
güey, ¿por qué te madrearon? ¿Y por qué te chingaron?
No way. No
You should have just got up. ¿Por qué no te levantas?
Levántate.
Okay. ¿Por qué no te levantaste?
No sé.
Yeah.
No, the Spanish commentary in Combate is so freaking funny, dude.
Is it?
Oh my god, you should watch it. You guys should watch. If you know Spanish, you should watch it in Spanish because top tier.
Top tier. Top
funny.
tier. I love it.
They call me like, what do they say? Esta Janetita. Go
Janetita. I'm gonna start calling you that. La Janetita.
La Janetita está chiquita, pero se mueve bien. Mira
Pero explosiva.
Explosiva. And I'm like, oh shit.
Mira ese patada fuerte en la cabeza, ese puño, ese gancho a la derecha, el uppercut y sumisión ahorita de Darts choke. Guillotine choke. La guillotina se lo dieron y le cortaron la mera cabeza.
It's the best. It sounds like a soccer.
It does, right? It does. It does.
Pumps you up. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I love it. I really
No,
love
the Spanish commentators are always awesome, man. They're always awesome. They're dope.
I love them.
And then these commentators when you have Latin parents too, and they'll tell you straight up. So one time, okay, this is like going back to my little karate days, right? With tournament days. My parents used to not come and watch me to do class because they were always working.
Okay.
So everybody was always working. I took myself to karate class all the time, which again, you end up realizing their sacrifices, right? And then my mom came one time and we were sparring that day, right? And I had this habit of like wanting to roll up my sleeves because you get hot in your sparring gear, right? So I would have my hands up and then I would go, because then my sleeves would kind of come down a little bit, right? Roll down my sleeves. And then of course, when you do that, people pick up on the habits and then, you get kicked. And then my instructor goes, okay, everybody take your gear off, go take a sip of water, come back. And as I was taking my gear off, my mom goes, ¿por qué te sigues moviendo las mangas? Why are you moving your sleeves like that?
Yeah.
And I said, what do you mean? And she goes, I mean, my mom never watched me take class.
Yeah.
Right? But she already knew. The fuck are you doing with your hands? Your hands are supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing this? Look at.
You're gonna get kicked.
You're gonna get kicked, right? Of course, back kicks, roundhouse kicks,
Yeah,
right?
everything.
And then I was like, I'm not, like,
like, no.
I'm not. And then she goes, deja de mover esas mangas. Stop changing your sleeves.
Yeah,
Start moving your sleeves up and pay attention to the fight. What am I paying for you to do? And I was like, okay. Right?
Dude.
But after that, I never mess with my sleeves ever again.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need that. Like,
But you do need it. You do need
that. Dude, my mom is the funniest when when I hear her at the fights. I can hear her. And then there was one
can
time,
you?
oh yeah, I can hear her. She's her voice, right?
Yeah.
But it was a while back, and I was fighting here locally in one of the fights, and my mom goes, "Mátala, Janet, mátala." Kill her.
Cielos, cielos. Señora mamá de Janet, ¿cómo?
I was like,
¿Cómo? And she stopped mid-fight.
Yeah, like,
¡Mamá! ¡Ya! ¡Ya, siéntenla!
Yeah, dude, it was the funniest thing because later on, like, they're like, oh, that was your mom? I was like, yeah, that was...
She said, mátala.
Mátala.
Mátala. At least she didn't say, like, muérdela or something.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine?
I'm like, Mom.
Mátala. My mom didn't like watching me fight. She liked to cover her eyes. My dad was just like, hey, así. And I would just go, okay, Dad, I'm doing it. But my mom was always like, no. And then she'd be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's
I feel it. She didn't want her little baby getting hit, but...
yeah, mine either, but then I was like, I'm doing it.
I can hit him back, Mom. Don't worry. It's fine.
Yes. No, it's fun. I love it. I don't know who I would be without martial arts, in a way.
Yeah.
Because it made me a different person.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's that itself, I want people to realize that all of us that have been through martial arts and have done this, we truly cannot live without it. And like I said it at the end of class today, where we've stepped on a mat once and we've gone through a process of, whether it was belt or it was community or it was commitment to certain years, but the mat always calls you back.
Yeah.
Right? And it does make you a different person because you realize, number one, discipline, right? The discipline aspect of it is huge. And a lot of us, a lot of us don't have that. We go day by day and we just kind of, do routine things or whatever.
Yeah.
But then having to show up to a class or having to show up to do, to teach a class, right? You end up having to be not something different, but to up your game, because like I said earlier, like you have to show up for everybody. It's a mental aspect of it, right? But it's one of the most coolest, rewarding things that I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Whether it was teaching somebody how to do a basic front kick or doing a front kick inside the ring, like it's the same.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, man, I love this stuff. I love it. I get to teach it with my kids now, and I get to keep sharing it with the rest of the kids. But I'm like ready to keep doing this until I can't anymore.
Yeah.
Because it is so much of a part of you that you're. What do I do without it? I mean,
Yeah.
What do you want me to do now? You want me to get into a different habit? Okay, basketball.
Yeah.
Okay, soccer. Okay, I'm sorry, like I can't. This particular one just has its hold on me. Yeah,
It is, because it could be very like the other sports. They're fun. But
They are.
They are fun. It's fun, but I always found like martial arts gave me the best of both worlds, because you can do it alone and you can do it with a group of people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't definitely just shadow box.
Yeah.
Like at home and you're like good. Or
Which all of us do anyway, brushing our teeth.
the
and
back.
then
Yeah.
left, right hook, uppercut. Always.
Yeah. Just
Any
in the
mirror you
parking
see,
lot.
1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4.
3. At the mall, just like
There you go. What are you doing?
anywhere.
Okay, Rocky Balboa.
Or anywhere, right? And then you can also have classes like yours,
Yeah.
and then have fun with people, and I love that. It's just, it's amazing, and
It's
I want more, especially ladies. I want more ladies in the mat. I want more ladies representing us, because for me, I'm always either the only person or like two females, two girls at the gym training. And it's cool, it's nice, but I want more people. I want them to realize like what their body can do.
Yeah, like how cool would it be to have a whole ass fight team of women? Like you did that the other day, right? You guys went to
the boxing.
to the boxing,
Oh my
the
God,
sparring,
that was beautiful.
the sparring. What do you call it? Like
I think
I don't
it was
know.
a woman's only
it was
boxing. sparring
yeah. Like how cool was that?
that was
No egos,
it was beautiful.
no anything, and it's just we just want to be able to do this without having. I don't even know if that's like like it's not so much that guys always want to like put it on us, like lay it on us.
Yeah.
Because guys
different.
help us, but it is very different when it's a woman.
When you spar
Yeah.
somebody, like when I spar with the guys, I know they're going at a lower level. They have to. They can knock me out.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If we're around the same weight, they can still knock me out.
Yeah.
They pull back a little bit. I understand that.
Yeah.
But when you're going with another girl, another woman that is like close to your weight, we can actually like go at it a little bit more.
Yeah.
We're still safe.
There's
we're
the
still
push.
good.
There's that push where
definitely push when we're like, all right, let's test ourselves. We can do this. And then after the round is over, we're like, that was fun.
And what a crazy thing, because you're just like, you just beat the
Shit out of
daylights
each
out of each other. And then at the end, you're like, oh my God, thank you so much, amiga. Hey, same time next week, right?
Yes,
Like, it's so crazy, because who does that?
No.
Who does that? So we're trying to do this a little bit more. I'm trying to introduce people a little bit more to sparring in our class, because all we do is we do mitt hitting, right? But I do want to introduce them to some sparring, again, to have them gain some confidence with it. But of course, it's a work in progress, right? But it is pretty cool to have women enjoy that, step on the mat, learn technique, and then actually apply technique with each other, right? And have it be like, I'm not judging you if you're not doing this kick right. We're all learning. We're all learning. We're all trying to get better. So
Yeah, definitely. Also, one last thing. I want to congratulate you on almost a year to have this amazing like program that you put together.
Yeah.
Her and your
My
girlfriend.
fiance Jahida. Yeah.
Fiance girlfriend. Ooh, sorry,
It's okay.
Jahida.
It's okay. She's everything. She's my world, Jahida.
Yeah, Jahida. She's behind the scenes. I'll put a picture of her right here.
Yes. She's so pretty, huh?
Yeah, she is very beautiful. You guys both together like put this amazing like program that it's bringing families together.
Yes.
Like their kids bringing their family and their aunts, and then people just have this amazing community that you need that.
Yeah.
You actually need that, and you're doing that. You know, you two are doing that by yourself, and then putting everything together, and then, wow.
Thank you. Honestly, it's you know, a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes of this, right? Because, like, somebody asked me earlier today, how many classes do you teach? So I teach a morning class. I have my work from home stuff, and then I come back and I teach. On some days 5 classes, on some days 6 classes, and they're all back to back, right?
Wow.
And this was missing from my life because I took a little bit of a break from teaching, and I'm gonna be honest, I kind of felt a little bit lost. Like, okay, yeah, I was dealing with life and learning and blah blah blah, but I was always like, what's missing? What's missing, right? And the community and helping people and teaching people was missing from my life. So when I decided to get back into it, I told Jahida, I asked her, I said, hey, what do you think? And she's never done martial arts before, right? Her focus has always been soccer because of the boys. And then I said, what do you think, right? And she goes, let's do it. And I said, this is why I love you. This is why I love you, because you go, yeah, let's do it, right?
Let's do it. Why not?
And then from there, she's always just been super supportive, and her hearing like the background story on some people and how some of us met, and how they ended up just on the mat. She loves those, right? She loves those, and that's when she realized, this is like a super cool community, right? And again, this is somebody who's never done this before. So again, this is what we're trying to do, is get more people on the mat. And then she's like, dude, this is like, what an amazing thing. What an amazing feeling. And let's do more, because people need more of this, right? We're all super supportive of women feeling empowered, because we should.
Yeah.
We should. Right? So I have this one right here. This tattoo is an Adelita. I don't know if you guys can see it, right? I'll show it to you guys later. But it's an Adelita, right? And this Adelita basically represents the guerrera in women, right?
Yes.
So women without always being, there's hardly any acknowledgement, but women are the strongest beings on earth, right?
Yeah.
From carrying a child to delivering a child to raising children, right? And still doing all those things with 100 million things on their plate, right? So if we can continue to show that to people, and then again show them more, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But it's been a work in progress, right? And I love it. Every time somebody new comes in, I seriously just want to hug them and go, yeah, welcome to the mat. Okay, you don't know this yet, but this is going to be one of the longest things you've ever do, and this is the best community that you could ever be a part of. So I'm excited for it. So thank you so much, and thank you so much for your continuous support too, right? Because we've talked a lot on the mat, right? And again, this is what the mat allows us to do, is really unmask ourselves from what we're feeling, and it just kind of breaks us down in so many ways. And we've talked about things, and thank you for being so supportive, because this is exactly what we should be doing for each other, all of us, right?
Definitely, because like I'm doing this social media stuff, right? But you need that connection, right? I feel like, myself included, I get sometimes sucked into social media, and I'm
doom scrolling.
It's worse. I'm like, okay, I need to stop, right? And being in a community that brings people together, and it makes you feel less alone.
Yeah.
One, it makes you feel less alone. What is the other one? Depression. It helps you with depression. It helps me with depression, because we all go through it, you know. But
and you know, a lot of people that have stepped on the mat have mentioned one of those things, because we do like to ask them, what makes you want to do something like this, right? And some of them have been very sincere and divulged that, and then again we go back to saying, whatever you need, you can talk to us, right? If we can help you in some sort of way, you can talk to us. I've had people call me and just go, hey, do you want to, can you hold mitts for me? I'm having like one of those days. And then I'll just go, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
but let's just 10 minutes. Let's just meet up for 10 minutes and let's hit some mitts, right? And at the end, it's like, oh, thank you so much. I needed that. We need it.
Yeah.
We need that.
that connection.
Yeah.
But
So thank you.
Come try out.
a class with Ojin.
Ojin Atletico. Ojin Atletico, come down. We're at 668 Lincoln Avenue.
¿Sos tú?
Soy yo.
¿Quién eres? Soy yo.
De nada regresar aquí.
Ya es tarde.
Lo sé.
Porque ahora soy yo la que quiero estar sin ti. Por eso vete,
olvida mi nombre, mi cara, mi casa y me deja la muerte.
Jamás te